Most people believe that controlling blood pressure means taking medication for the rest of their lives. It's what they've been told for years, sometimes decades, and they accept it, not because they've explored every option, but because no one ever explained anything different. But what if I told you that your body already has a built-in system designed to lower your blood pressure naturally? A system you can activate anytime, without pills, without equipment, without cost. It sounds too simple, almost unbelievable. And that's exactly why most people ignore it. After the age of 60, your body changes in ways that make blood pressure harder to manage. Your arteries stiffen, your stress response becomes stronger, and your recovery system becomes weaker. But here's the part most people never hear: your nervous system still has the ability to regulate all of it. It just needs to be activated the right way. And today, you're going to learn exactly how. Let's start with something simple. Your arteries are not just tubes carrying blood. They're living, flexible structures that expand and contract with every heartbeat. When you're younger, they're soft and responsive, but over time, they lose that flexibility. They become stiffer, which makes it harder for blood to move freely. As a result, your heart has to push harder and your blood pressure rises. This is not a disease, it's a natural part of aging, but the problem is, most treatments focus only on lowering the number, not improving how your body responds internally, and that's where things start to fall apart, because your blood pressure isn't just about your heart, it's about your entire system working together. Now let's talk about the nervous system, the hidden controller behind your blood pressure. This system runs automatically, adjusting your heart rate, your breathing, and your blood vessel tension without you even thinking about it. It has two main modes. One is your stress mode, which prepares your body for action. It raises your heart rate, tightens your blood vessels, and increases blood pressure. The other is your calm mode, which does the opposite. It relaxes your body, slows your heart, and lowers your pressure. The problem is, most people spend far too much time in stress mode, and over time, that imbalance becomes your new normal. After 60, this imbalance becomes even more noticeable. Years of stress, poor sleep, and constant mental activity keep your body stuck in a heightened state. Even when you're sitting quietly, your system may still be operating as if you're under pressure. That's why your blood pressure doesn't just reflect physical health, it reflects your internal state. And if that state is constantly tense, your numbers will follow. Medication can help reduce those numbers, but it doesn't teach your body how to switch into calm mode. And without that ability, the underlying issue remains. Here's where things get interesting. Your body has a direct communication pathway between your brain and your heart. It runs through a nerve that responds to your breathing. Every time you take a slow, controlled breath, especially when you extend your exhale, you send a signal to your brain that says it's safe to relax. That signal triggers a cascade of changes. Your blood vessels begin to widen, your heart rate slows, and your pressure starts to drop. This isn't a theory. It's a measurable biological response that happens within seconds. Let's simplify this with a clear mental picture. Imagine your blood vessels like a flexible pipe carrying water. When everything is calm, the pipe stays relaxed and water flows easily. But when you're stressed, tense, or anxious, it's like someone is squeezing that pipe from the outside. The space inside gets narrower and the flow becomes restricted. Now your heart has to push harder to keep things moving, which increases pressure. This is exactly what happens inside your body, and here's the important part: this tightening isn't permanent. It's controlled by your nervous system. When you slow your breathing, especially your exhale, you send a signal that releases that tension. The squeeze eases, your vessels open slightly, and blood begins to flow more freely. Again, this is why breathing works so quickly. It directly influences the physical condition of your cardiovascular system. It's not about relaxation as a feeling. It's about relaxation as a measurable physical response inside your body. Now let's move into the first practical method you can start using immediately. It's simple, but incredibly powerful when done correctly. You breathe in slowly through your nose for about 4 seconds. Hold that breath briefly, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a longer duration, usually around 6 to 8 seconds. That longer exhale is the key. It activates your body's natural calming system far more effectively than the inhale. Most people rush their breathing without realizing it, especially when they're tense. But when you slow it down intentionally, you change the entire signal your body is receiving. Even doing just a few cycles of this can begin to lower your blood pressure within minutes. The best part is, you don't need a special place or time to do it. You can practice it while sitting on your couch, before getting out of bed, or even while waiting at a red light. It's simple, accessible, and extremely effective when practiced consistently. The second method focuses on creating a steady rhythm in your breathing. Instead of holding your breath, you maintain a smooth, continuous pattern about 5 seconds inhaling and 5 seconds exhaling. This creates a balanced flow that helps your heart and lungs work together more efficiently. There's actually a natural connection between your breathing and your heart rate. When you inhale, your heart rate increases slightly. When you exhale, it slows down. By controlling your breathing rhythm, you can influence that pattern in a positive way. This improves something called heart rate variability, which is a key indicator of cardiovascular health. Higher variability means your body can adapt better to stress and recover more effectively. Over time, practicing this type of breathing can lead to more stable blood pressure levels, better energy, and improved overall well-being. It's not a quick fix, but it's a powerful long-term strategy. At first, slowing your breathing like this might feel unnatural. Most people are used to breathing quickly and shallowly without even noticing it. When you try to slow down, it can feel uncomfortable or forced. That's completely normal. Your body is simply adjusting to a new pattern. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Within a few sessions, your breathing will begin to settle into a steady rhythm without much effort. And once that happens, you'll start to notice the benefits more clearly. You may feel calmer, more focused, and less reactive to stress. Your sleep may improve, your energy levels may feel more stable. These changes don't happen overnight, but they build gradually, and over time they can have a significant impact on your blood pressure and overall health. The third technique might feel a little unusual at first, but it's incredibly effective, especially during moments of stress. It involves alternating your breathing between your left and right nostrils. This helps balance the two sides of your nervous system, one that activates your body and one that calms it down. Systems are in balance, your body functions more efficiently. Your blood vessels relax, your heart rate stabilizes, and your blood pressure begins to decrease. Many people notice a difference within just a few minutes of practicing this method. It's particularly useful when you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or under pressure. Instead of letting your body stay in that heightened state, you can use this technique to bring it back to balance. It may feel awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes easier and the results speak for themselves. Now, here's where this becomes truly powerful, not just in theory, but in real life. Think about those moments when your blood pressure suddenly rises. Maybe you get bad news, feel anxious, or even just worry about your health. In those situations, your body instantly shifts into stress mode, your heart beats faster, your blood vessels tighten, and your pressure spikes. Most people feel completely helpless in those moments, like there's nothing they can do except wait for it to pass. But that's not true. What you're learning here gives you a way to respond immediately. Instead of letting your body stay stuck in that high pressure state, you can actively guide it back to calm, slow, controlled breathing. Becomes your tool. Within minutes, you can begin to reverse that stress response. It gives you control where you previously felt none, and that alone can change how you experience those moments. Instead of fear, there's confidence. Instead of panic, there's control. But here's something important: don't rely only on how you feel. Feelings can be misleading. Some days you might feel calm, but your blood pressure is still elevated. Other days you might feel stressed, but your numbers are actually stable. That's why measuring is so important. If you have a home monitor, use it. Take a reading before you begin your breathing exercise, and then take another one after you finish. Write both numbers down. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns, and those patterns will tell you the truth about what's really happening inside your body. Many people are surprised to see that even a few minutes of controlled breathing can reduce their systolic pressure by several points. It may not seem like much at first, but small, consistent changes add up over time, and that's where the real impact happens. Consistency is the key that unlocks everything. Doing these techniques once or twice won't completely change your health overnight, but doing them daily, even for just a few minutes, can create real, lasting change. Think of it like building strength. One workout doesn't transform your body, but repeated effort over time does. The same principle applies here. When you practice slow breathing regularly, you're training your nervous system. You're teaching it how to shift out of stress mode more easily. And over time, that becomes your new normal. Your baseline changes. Your body becomes more responsive, more balanced, and more stable. This is where you start to see meaningful improvements, not just in your blood pressure, but in your overall quality of life. It's also important to understand that this isn't about replacing your medication. It's about supporting your body in a way medication alone cannot. Medication helps control the numbers, which is extremely important, but it doesn't teach your body how to regulate itself. That's what these techniques do. They fill the gap. They give your body the ability to respond naturally, instead of relying entirely on external help. When you combine both approaches, proper medical care and consistent breathing practice, you create a more complete strategy, one that works with your body, not just on it, and that's where real, sustainable health improvement begins. The biggest challenge for most people isn't understanding these techniques, it's actually using them consistently. Life is busy, habits are hard to change, but the good news is this doesn't require a huge time commitment. You can start small, a few minutes in the morning before you get out of bed, a short session in the evening while you're sitting quietly. And whenever you feel stressed, take a moment to slow your breathing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Over time, it becomes part of your routine, something you do without even thinking about it. And once it becomes automatic, that's when the real benefits begin to show. Your body starts to respond differently. Your stress levels decrease, and your blood pressure becomes more stable naturally. At some point, something begins to shift, not suddenly, but gradually. You start to notice that you're not reacting the same way you used to. Situations that once made you tense don't feel as overwhelming. Your body doesn't jump into stress mode as quickly, and when it does, you have a way to bring it back down. This is where many people. They just didn't have the right tool. Your breathing becomes that tool. It's always been there, but now you're using it with intention. And the more you practice, the more your body remembers how to relax. Not as a rare event, but as a normal state. Over time, this begins to affect everything: your sleep, your energy, your focus, and, yes, your blood pressure. It's not dramatic, it's not instant, but it's real. And once you experience that shift, it changes how you think about your health entirely. I've seen this transformation happen in people who once believed they had no control over their condition, people who felt stuck, dependent on numbers and medications, unsure of what their body was doing from one day to the next, and then something changes. They begin to understand how their body responds, how their breathing affects their system, how small actions can lead to measurable results. It's not about eliminating medication or chasing perfection, it's about gaining awareness. When you understand what's happening inside your body, fear begins to fade. You stop guessing. You stop worrying about every small change. Instead, you start responding with confidence, and that confidence alone can reduce stress, which in itself helps lower blood pressure. It's a cycle, but this time it's working in your favor. The truth is, your body isn't broken. It hasn't failed you. It's been adapting, responding, and trying to keep you functioning through years of stress, pressure, and change. But like anything, it can get stuck in a pattern where stress becomes the default and relaxation becomes rare. What you're doing now is breaking that pattern. You're reminding your body how to return to balance, and balance is where healing happens. Not extremes, not forcing numbers down or ignoring them completely, but finding that middle ground where your body can function at its best. This is something many people never learn. They spend years focusing only on the outcome, without understanding the process. But once you understand the process, everything starts to make sense. So here's what I want you to do: something simple, but powerful. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. Don't overthink it. Just take a few minutes today and try one of these techniques. Sit down, slow your breathing, and focus on your exhale. Then check your blood pressure. Look at the number before and then after. That difference, even if it's small, is proof. Proof that your body is responding, proof that you have influence over your own system. And once you see that for yourself, something changes. It's no longer just information, it becomes experience, and experience is what creates real belief. Not what you hear, but what you feel and measure for yourself. You are not powerless when it comes to your health. That's the message I want you to take with you. Your body has built-in systems designed to protect you, regulate you, and keep you balanced. They haven't disappeared with age, they've just been overlooked. By learning how to use your breath, you're tapping into something that has always been there, something simple, but incredibly powerful. So the next time you feel your pressure rising, don't panic, pause, breathe, give your body the signal it's been waiting for. And if this helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need it. Because sometimes the smallest change, the one that costs nothing, can make the biggest difference. And I want to ask, you one simple question before you go. Have you ever tried controlling your breathing to lower your blood pressure? Let me know in the comments. Your answer might help someone else